The Super Media Bros podcast is a founding member of the OddPods Media Network.
Super Media Bros.
To being in the Goblin Core in Labyrinth, to being Willow in Willow, to being the fucking Leprechaun.
And what's his name?
Warwick Davis.
No, the Leprechaun.
The Leprechaun.
Damn it, that makes sense.
Welcome to episode 267 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Richie.
And I'm sleep deprived.
And if you're listening to this right now, you're more than likely hungover because guess what? Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and we're giving you the ultimate hangover episode by covering Leprechaun from 1993, starring Warwick Davis and a then very debuting Jennifer Aniston.
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. That she was distracting in this. Like, that, I was like, fuck. And I thought, like, circa 2006, 2008 was peak Jennifer Aniston. Bruh. I genuinely was like, God damn, that's a woman. Fuck.
The funny thing about this movie, though, is Warwick Davis legitimately loved this role. He loved this franchise.
You could tell.
Immensely. He chewed the scenery up. But it's hilarious because Jennifer Aniston just kind of ghosted this movie. Like, it didn't want nothing to do with it, wouldn't fucking have any association with it or whatever. And then Warwick Davis was just like, bitch, but other people were involved in this fucking thing too. I mean, he didn't say it like that, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he was just like, the other people were involved in this too. You're not the only one that gets the gold.
Dude, imagine this podcast, okay?
Sure.
It's just Jennifer Aniston and Denise Richards talking about their debut films.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Jennifer Aniston is talking about Leprechaun, and Denise is talking about Terry and the T-Rex.
Tammy and the T-Rex?
Tammy, yeah, that one, yeah.
And fucking sadly, we've covered Tammy and the T-Rex on here before with up against Boltneck, which, God, that was a fun Cult Cinema show. That episode.
Dude, I loved it.
You guys go back and check that episode. That was a lot of fun. We haven't talked about Leprechaun together. I spoke about Leprechaun, like, I think 4 years ago on a Cult Cinema Showdown against fucking Troll 2, I think. And it's been a while, but goddamn, I think it called for it. You know, we could have easily gone like and it's not even shit because the Leprechaun franchise with Warwick Davis is a lot of fun. We could have easily gone the bullshit route and just went fucking Leprechaun in the Hood.
I feel like we need to save that for another time.
Oh, we absolutely will. Like, we're going to be getting to a lot more of this franchise in the future, but I think it's funny. We talked about Leprechaun in space in October.
Right.
And then we're coming back around to do this because I feel like to do a St. Patrick's Day hangover episode, I feel like this just kind of fits the fucking bill for at least what the fuck we're doing.
Oh, for sure.
Even though we know what this franchise is, and anybody out there that's seen this knows this franchise, it's always fun to come back to this one for shits and giggles because the production shit that went on behind the scenes, like we were talking about this off air, but the script for this movie actually started getting written in 1985. The movie got shot from like October to November-ish, 1991. And it didn't get fucking released until January of 93.
Dude, at that point, like, I'm trying to do the math. I feel like Jennifer Aniston was a star by then. She probably fucking forgot about this movie.
Dude, yeah, you know what? That makes a lot of fucking sense. Because think about this. Okay, so Leprechaun comes out 1993. They shot it in 91. Friends just starts in 1994. And I'm pretty positive, like, becomes more of a... Like, we all know Friends is the juggernaut television show that it was.
Yeah.
You're right. Like, she probably was just like, oh, it was just some fucking stupid movie I did. You know, like how everybody has that one fucking movie they either they forget they were in or they regretted doing it or they were like, oh, it was to get my foot in the fucking door or whatever.
I mean, shit. how many MCU actors have been like, wait, I was in that movie? Gwyneth Paltrow forgot that she was in Spider-Man. And then I'm blanking on who it was. I want to say, oh God, I'm blanking on who it is, but I just read that somebody was like, oh yeah, I'd love to do an MCU movie.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes, you're right. And we're all like, my guy, you were in Thor.
Yeah, you do not fucking remember.
How?
He got Thor up from the floor up. That's why he don't fucking remember dick.
Now, to be fair to those two, I mean, I'm sure like they're just flying from one jet to another and just filming something. They probably don't even know what they're fucking doing.
Bro, 1990s Robert Downey Jr. would have forgotten that he was in Iron Man.
He forgot that he was, what was it, Lesson Zero?
Yeah.
How do you fucking forget that shit? Jesus.
I know. We were talking about this too. The fact that Warwick Davis is such a great actor, period, like has done tons of other roles. And it's like, God damn, like you think about him and like Robert Englund getting these horror roles that they're mostly remembered for.
Mm-hmm.
And they're such caliber actors, dude. He's just fucking eating it up every moment that he's on screen. And jumping into the film, how it's set in 1983, like the opening part. And we were talking about how this felt like its own short film. And that also got us talking where it's like, oh, what if that was the proof of, like, whenever he goes to the O'Grady dude, like when he comes home in the limousine and he's got the big fucking, like, he's got the bag of gold and he's telling his wife, he's like, look, I caught a fucking leprechaun. This is all of his gold. And she's like, yeah, sure it is. I'll just make you some fucking hot tea. And that whole situation happens, which funny as fuck when the little bastard gets let out of the suitcase and he starts just running amok on the wife and like, kills her. Like she gets scared and falls down the fucking stairs. So she essentially just like offed herself.
The way her fucking head hit the stairs.
Dude. Cue fucking Head Over Heels by Tears for Fears in that moment.
Oh.
Something happens and I'm head over. Oh, fucking dies and shit, dude.
Fuck, dude.
Watch your step. It's a doozy. And then the little motherfucker just rolls out and he's like, Grady's like, oh, honey, where are you? And she's like, got a spot of tea for you, dear. just fucking steaming and shit. It's so fucking, there's so much Looney Tunes-ish bullshit in this movie, which is great because they wanted it to be a straight up horror movie. And then behind the scenes, they're like, no, we got to add a little more comedy and all this stuff. Like, the production was just like, they did not know where the fuck they wanted this movie to go.
Mm-hmm.
They even tested a PG-13 and R-rated cut for this film to audiences, and the R-rated cut tested better. Go fucking figure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's also kind of refreshing that it, from the start, was goofy. Because so many times you'll see these horror movies that, even The Evil Dead, which is my favorite, but starts off just horror and then slowly leans into comedy. Well,
yeah, if you think about the fact that Sam Raimi, Robert Tapert, and Bruce Campbell were all Three Stooges fans. So the slapstick, and I know you know this, but for anybody out there listening that doesn't know that somehow, like the fact that their love of the Three Stooges and slapstick comedy found its way into that franchise slowly but surely, and then it became such an integral part. Right. That you almost can't think about any of the Evil Dead films or the Ash vs. Evil Dead series, or hell, even the 2013 Evil Dead and the upcoming Evil Dead Rise. There's gonna be some dark comedy element. There's no way that you can really make a full-blown even the first Evil Dead, as straightforward horror as it was, had some funny moments in it.
Yeah.
This one, weirdly, the movies that we've talked about, like Robert Englund with Nightmare on Elm Street and then Evil Dead, this movie actually has, like, we'll get to them, has some fucking references to both of those movies in it.
It does, but I don't know, it's just nice to see, like, it keep its spirit from the beginning, and then it just only doubled down from there.
Right, like, the movie knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the selling point for this movie, because even my son, who is really difficult to impress with shit unless he's just fucking into it, sat and watched this, and then by the end of it, he was like, oh my God, that was great.
Yeah.
And it really is. I mean, this movie came out when, I know you're going to tell me I'm old, but this movie came out when I was fucking 7. It's a
damn.
It's a 30-year-old movie. And it aged in some spats, but it fucking didn't age in some other ones. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of that weird balance of like.
I feel like, yeah, like the CGI, like lights and everything that it would do, that aged, but it doesn't look as shitty as you might think based off of the description. Really, I think most of the aging comes from just like dialogue and writing, like trope wise.
Yeah, and for what they did for like just under $1 million was pretty impressive, to be honest with you. The makeup was really well done. Now, I think the one misleading thing about the movie is the poster, because the poster is like, oh, your luck just ran out, and it's like this freaky little bastard on it or whatever, but it's pretty fucking funny. Mm-hmm. We sidetracked from way earlier, but it felt like the first 10 minutes at the O'Grady farm and shit was proof of concept.
Yeah, right down to the opening, which I am a little perplexed as to why it made the final cut. The introduction where he's just walking down the steps and then that's the scene. And then it opens up with Grady driving to his house and everything. Like that almost felt like almost test footage, like costume test.
Oh, you're talking about whenever he's coming down in his cave and he's like with his gold and shit. Maybe it was just to set the stage of like, okay, this is like, he loves his gold. And it's not a typical leprechaun where it's like, oh, I caught this leprechaun and he's just going to give me his fucking gold and blah, blah, blah. Because this is a bloodthirsty, greedy fucking little leprechaun, which, you know, you pointed this out and I'll get to it in a second. But like the fact that the first, like we said, the first bit of this movie felt like proof of concept, test footage, really. It sets up the O'Grady house being the backdrop for the film. And weirdly enough, whenever I was a kid watching this shit, I never put two and two together that, oh, it's the same fucking location, you know, because they shot it differently in different spots and everything like that. And the house looked a little different. But the fact that we were talking about like the Nightmare on Elm Street and Evil Dead parallels we'll get into, they kept Freddy Krueger mostly in the shadows in the first film. They did that with the Leprechaun, like in the first little fucking, you know, bit of it where they shadowed his face, but then as time went on, they slowly revealed more and more of it.
Right.
So the movie opens with Jennifer Aniston and her dad going to this farm to like fix it up, and they're going to live there and all this other bullshit. And then you've got three guys that paint. You got Alex, Nathan, and Ozzy.
Ozzy is basically an overweight Boo Radley. Or like an Otis from WWE character. That's
kind of, I'm not going to lie, dude. That's legitimately probably like the best description.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and like just address the elephant in the room where in the 90s, they absolutely wrote him to be like, for lack of a better term, mentally handicapped. They legitimately wrote him this way, but they didn't portray him like full tilt. Like, there's even dialogue.
Are you sure?
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, they even wrote, like, dialogue in there whenever him and Alex find the gold that's in the pickup truck on the property, where Alex is like, oh, we can fix your brain. Like, we have money to fix your brain and shit. And they even wrote it, like, they were going to take that out of this cut. And then the producer or the director, one of the two, like, that had to do with this movie were like, no, keep it in because it's actually meant to be like a bonding thing where like Alex is trying to help his friend and all this other shit. And I'm just like, I can see where you're coming from, but in 1993 to 2023, that does not hold up very well at all. It's like, oh God, you know, it's cringy, bro.
He said, they can fix your brain. It's like, God damn.
And he's like, they can? He's like, yeah, that way. Yeah, he's
fucking flowers for the Algernon over here.
He said they can, and fucking Alex, without missing a beat, was like, yeah, that way people can't make fun of you no more. And I'm like, fuck, they really fucking went there. God damn. Bro, the Leprechaun character is not even that savage, bro. Leprechaun character killing motherfuckers left and right with pogo sticks, his fucking shoe buckle, and even he's not like, I'm gonna fuck with this guy because he's got something wrong with him. He's just like, this bastard ate my gold. I want it back. He didn't even fuck with him for what was wrong with him. It's like, fuck, dude.
Okay, first of all, though, Alex was a fucking menace to society.
That little McDonald's shirt orphan bastard, I swear to God.
Bruh, he kept fucking with this dude knowing damn good and well he is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of which, Can we also address the fact that Jennifer Aniston's character,
It's
Tori,
sexy as fuck. Yeah.
she's a teenager in this movie.
Yeah, but she wasn't a teenager in real life.
I know that, but what
I
I'm
can say it. I can say it.
I know you can. But what I'm saying is, in the context of this film, the fact that Nathan, who was probably not a teenager, he was probably freshly 21, or as you put it, what did you call him?
Oh, handsome Jim Carrey.
Like Jim Carrey isn't already handsome.
Well, yes, but
this is like beefy Jim Carrey at the time. He's like, I'm gonna get paint on me, Jim Carrey. And Jennifer, which funny enough, like this is like Bruce Almighty test footage, I guess, but they would go on to star together in Bruce Almighty. The fact that he's like looking at her and then she's going to fucking leave because she can't stand how dirty this fucking place is, and he's just like, oh, you're gonna let some fucking spiders scare you? And he gets like really sexist at her and all this other bullshit, and she's just like, no, I'm not afraid. And then her dad's like, well, here's the bags. I guess you win. Like, we're going to leave. And she's like, no, put the bag back inside. And it's just like, yeah, Dad, I found some dick on the property. I'm not fucking going anywhere. I found some dick with muscles. Put the fucking suitcase back.
I now know what I need to do. I need to start a painting company.
Oh, my fucking God. What are you going to call it?
I don't know. Painting with my meat brush. Use a woman's forehead as a canvas.
I was going to say you could call it paint by numbers, but hold on. Here's your tagline. Female, like, approaches. Like, what's your company? Paint by numbers. Oh, that's kind of cute. Yeah, but I can't paint without your number.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh. Okay.
You can have that one.
The fucking Riz.
Sometimes I have ideas.
I'm going to write that shit down.
Sometimes I'm the Ozzy of this duo, but that's neither here nor there. The scene that I was going to get at about this whole fucking shit was the leprechaun by this point has like appeared and he's looking for shit, right? And he's kind of slowly fucking with everybody on this farm. He starts like touching her leg under the truck, which you pointed out is in broad daylight.
Yeah, because whenever I think of really horror movies in general, but especially in Leprechaun, I don't recall seeing that motherfucker in broad daylight.
Right. And he's just like under the truck and he's just touching her and she's just like, Nathan, like she's fucking looking down and then she turns around and sees him at the house and she's just like, oh God. And then she gets fucking scratched and falls over. And then her dad's like, well, what's wrong or whatever? Like, oh, he was touching my leg or whatever the fuck. And he was like, well, maybe it was like an animal. And she's like, no, I know what it feels like to have a grown man caress my leg. You do? Like, bro. She's got to be fucking one. How old do you think her character's supposed to be? Like, granted, teenager can reach to 19, but she's got to be 18. She's got to be like freshly thinking, 18 or like 19 18. Or some shit, dude. Because the fact that you do, you know, she's young, obviously. And I'm just like, oh God, this is all kinds of fucked up.
First of all, don't even worry about it, okay? Once they reach, what would you say, 15, then it's like, just don't even
just
worry
assume
about it.
That something has happened by then. I'm not even saying that in a bad way. It's like everybody that is out there that's listening, trust me. Like, you already know. I ain't even gonna have to get into it, but just trust us. Like, your daughter has probably seen some shit by now. Okay, like
she's fooled around.
She has watched scrambled porn on Cinemax, man. Come on, dude. And so has Mr. Nathan. But anyway, they fucking allude to all this bullshit. Then he goes and stupidly reaches his hand into this fucking hole. And then he gets his hand bit. So he's got to go to the hospital. And he's just essentially he's gone for the rest of this fucking movie.
Yeah, he never comes back. I was expecting him to make the save at the end, but he didn't.
Right, but I wonder if... I wonder if he was like, guys, this is a piece of shit. I can only, like, I know I signed a contract for 6 weeks, but I can really only shoot for like 6 hours. Like, can you guys get me the fuck out of here?
For real, though, how long was he on set?
I really want to know that, dude, because, like, Jesus fuck.
It was only one wardrobe, so it's like, I don't think you could have done much.
Yeah, but as the film progresses, Ozzy keeps being all like, oh yeah, but there was this leprechaun, because he gets confronted in the basement by the leprechaun and he lets him out of his fucking box, which, let's talk about his reemergence from the box. He's been in this box for 10 fucking years and he's got cobwebs and all kinds of shit all over him. He just fucking comes out. What are you? Look at the buckle on my hat. The buckle on my shoes. Well, I'm a leprechaun. And you're just like, man, you really couldn't fucking tell by the whole fucking getup, could you, buddy?
Or the fact that he's fucking 2 feet tall.
Yeah, you know what I did like about this though, and I really fucking want to lean into this a little more, is like the fact that they didn't like leave the tropes behind.
Mm-hmm.
Where like he was just like, I'm a shoemaker by trade. He had this compulsion to clean any fucking shoe that he came across. Even Ozzy's, when he was just sitting there, he's like, your shoes could use a shine. He's just like whipping his little fucking handkerchief out, just ready to go. There's even several spots in the movie where, to distract him, they just throw fucking shoes into the dirt, and he's just like, fuck. Like he's just running like fucking shit.
I know, he looks so frustrated.
He wants to murder the fuck out of him for his fucking gold, and he's just like, you dicks keep throwing shoes in the dirt.
They didn't have to pay that much attention, but they did.
They fucked with him so bad. And I know there's a lot more to this movie plot-wise or whatever, but I mean, really, the plot is that Ozzy and Alex find the bag of gold in the pickup truck, and Ozzy's dumbass fucking swallows a gold coin, which sets up the inevitable showdown. But the whole time, this fucker is killing people because he just wants his gold back. And you even pointed this shit out. He's not the bad guy.
No, because, yeah, he's a menace to society. Like, he's just pulling pranks and then killing people. But, like, he didn't ask for anything. In fact, if they just handed him all of the gold,
he was going to fucking leave him.
Yeah, like, honestly, if that fucking Gilbert Grape motherfucker didn't eat a goddamn coin, they would have been fine. Like, what, the last 40% of this bullshit wouldn't even have happened.
So many hijinks happen with this little bastard. Like, they take the gold to the local shopkeep pawn shop guy to look it over. The leprechaun winds up killing that motherfucker with a pogo stick. Like, just jumping the fuck all over him. And it was so cheesy looking, like how the one little slow motion shot of him jumping on him. And then the fact that little motherfucker decided, you know what? I have to have this Power Wheels truck. Not only do I have to have this Power Wheels truck, I have to have some fucking toys and the murder weapon in the back of it when I drive away from here. And then he gets pulled, this fucking dumbass, he gets pulled over by the sheriff. And the sheriff's just like, aren't you a little young to be out this late? Why, young man, I'm 600 years old. Yeah, sure you are, buddy. It's like, dude, how fucking stupid are you? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, look at him. The whole get up.
The face.
Dude, he just palms him. The leprechaun just palms his fucker right in the face, flips his gun out of his holster, and instead of getting in his already running vehicle and running the bastard over and just leaving, it's the most weak sauce fucking rent-a-cop I've ever seen in my life. Fucking takes off into the woods, and then we get a couple of Evil Dead references with the fucking, you know, the dolly camera.
I
like,
love that shit.
I did too. I know even if they didn't go for it, it's there. There's some shots in the house that look like shots from the cabin and everything. Mm-hmm. But dude, I was just like, oh, so this is why he's running into the woods. I winds up snapping that fucker's neck, and I'm just like, all right, just leave him out there. It's just a useless kill anyway. Funny as fuck, but I mean, getting back to the fucking house, at one point, and I want to say this is before all this shit happens, when he chases them into town, the little bastard sees them drive off, and he runs into the farm, like the barn or whatever, and he comes out on a tricycle. Every time this little bastard is either, and I swear to God, this is true, if he's on this fucking tricycle, if he's in this car that he makes later on, we'll get to, or he's on roller skates, or in a fucking wheelchair, which we'll get later, it's always like sped up footage. Yeah. And it's so fucking cartoon looking. And that just kind of lends itself to the stupidness of this movie, if I'm being honest. It's fucking fantastic.
Well, the thing is like, I saw this movie once, probably like a decade and a half ago. It was on like, I don't know, maybe Sci-Fi Channel or something. Just some random shit. I don't fucking know. But I was watching it. And again, it was on TV, so a lot of shit was cut out. But I was watching it, and I don't remember laughing at anything. Like, for some reason, I don't remember any of the cartoony aspects of it. And I wasn't scared of it, but I just remember it being like a straightforward, serious movie. I don't remember this.
Do you enjoy it more like now?
Oh, yeah.
Spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped have the best tools for some spring cleaning. They've already helped you tidy up all the nooks and crannies of your body's basement, but this year Manscaped is going to help you get the perfect presentation on that beautiful face with the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Look guys, you can make sure that you look your best this spring by using our code SUPER to get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Look, it's time to tame your mane with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The sun's peeking back out, and that means you're going to have to show your face in the daylight again. So use the kit to make sure your scruff looks award-winning, whether you've got a glorious beard flow or some smooth, sleek cheeks. The kit comes with the Beard Hedger. It's a waterproof cordless trimmer with a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting length options and one guard, so there's no more messy drawers full of add-ons. It also comes with titanium-coated T-blades that are tough on hair but smooth on your face that leads to a single-stroke efficiency. The Beard Hedger is a very high-tech piece of art in a travel-sized package with a long-lasting battery, a universal charger, and a strong motor. The kit's also got liquid goods to make you feel good. You can't treat your beard like your pubes. That's why the kit has a special shampoo and conditioner specifically designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, and replenish your beard's natural oils, promoting beard health. The kit also has Manscaped's beard oil. The nutrient-infused oil relieves dryness on both the beard and the skin beneath while adding a little shimmer and shine to liven up your look. Don't forget to cap it off with the Beard Balm. It's a pomade that shapes, styles, and moisturizes, bringing the amazing scent of fresh eucalyptus, rosemary, and lavender essential oils. Lastly, the Beard Hedger Pro Beard Kit is also coming with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, a comb, and scissors to ensure that your beard is ready to impress. So get 20% off and free shipping with our code SUPER at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off plus free shipping with our code SUPER at manscaped.com. Focus on your face and use the Beard Hedger Pro Kit for the cleanest look in the game.
This is Beer in Front. Every week I'll talk about a beer that maybe we've forgotten along the way while we get those check-ins and badges. Being the Chicago beer guy, I'll also talk about great craft beer in the city of Chicago. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. That's Beer in Front, part of the OddPods Media Network.
There's so much dumb dialogue too whenever they leave that pawn shop or whatever, and fucking Tori and Nathan are sitting in that diner eating or whatever, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm vegetarian." She's like, "I really just wanted a fucking crisp salad and an Evian Evian water," and it's like, they don't have either one of them. And I'm like, it's like all they have is cheap whiskey and warm beer, and I'm just like, that's my kind of fucking party. Like, what you fucking talking about? And he's just eating meatloaf and like all this other shit. I'm like, oh my god, that whole part felt very like time wasty. I'm not gonna lie, this is over my critiquing part. Gets in, where I was just like, that didn't need to exist. They could have gone back to the farm. I know they had to wait for the dude or whatever, but
the thing is, to me, I understand that horror movies have this thing where you have to have a love interest. I also understand that 8 out of 10 times it doesn't work. Here, it really didn't work because they had nothing in common. Even by the end of it, it's like, y'all didn't find any common ground.
Yeah, they didn't even wind up like kissing or like none of that shit. It was just like all flirting by that point, which, I mean, sure, that like whatever, because it would have taken a backseat anyway. And to be honest, it was kind of refreshing to not see that.
Yes. Like, it would have been more of a sticking out like a sore thumb, but
yep.
I don't know. I just cut that scene out because by then I was like, yeah, I really don't buy this. I don't even as actors, I don't see any chemistry here.
Yeah, same. So after all that bullshit happens, the Leprechaun has found his way back to the farmhouse, and the little menace is just, before they get there, has just fucked about this entire kitchen. Pulling out the fucking, the knockoff Lucky Charms, fucking eats a handful, and he's just like fucking spits it out, fucking throws shit out of the counters all over the ground, finds a goddamn hand mirror, which that fucking shit was so funny when he looks at himself, he's like, "Ow!"
Why the fuck was a hand mirror in the kitchen?
I don't fucking know, but I'm happy that it was, dude.
In like the third shelf. What the fuck?
It's a Coke mirror, probably, dude.
Like, I don't... What?
O'Grady probably had a Coke mirror, and that's what it was.
You know what?
I'm sure it was.
Makes sense.
I'm telling you, yeah, I know it makes sense. This is probably exactly what it fucking was.
God damn it.
It just... You little bastard! Like when his fucking voice cracked before he... We forgot to mention that. In the front half, O'Grady suffers a stroke after putting the leprechaun in this box or whatever, but it's just funny. He's like, "But in hell, you little bastard!" His voice all cracks.
I love how whenever he fucking throws the leprechaun in the crate, you can tell that it's the actual actor and not like a dummy. Because he has to just set him in there so gingerly.
Right, and then that also lends itself to the fact that Warwick Davis actually did most of his own stunts in this movie because they had a hard time finding somebody to match his height that was a stunt performer.
Get wrecked, loser.
I know, my man's earned his fucking pay on this one. Shit.
My man's was doing the Tom Cruise before Tom Cruise.
Right? Man, fuck Tom Cruise. Warwick Davis all the way, man. Put him in a Mission Impossible film. Fuck.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Goddamn right. Mission Impossible to beat this box office.
Oh my God.
Yeah, silly fuck.
First Mission Impossible movie to hit $2 billion.
Oh my God. Fucking sign me up. I'm all for it. But he fucks this entire kitchen scene up. And after he fucks the kitchen up, he has to go find all the shoes in the house and perfectly shine them and just stack them neatly. And then here's where we get the rest of the cast coming in, and there's some Evil Dead moments here where like they find a shotgun and they're trying to look for him, and like there's some shots where he busts up from under the floorboard where, you know, Nathan goes to like lean down and put his ear against the floor and he busts out. I'm like, okay, that's straight up a fucking Evil Dead piece right there. And then there's like a callback to Nightmare on Elm Street when the phone rings and Tori picks it up. And it's Leprechaun on the other end. She rips it off the wall, and it's on the ground, and it's hanging off the hook, and it's not even fucking connected anymore. It's still ringing, and she picks it up, and she's like, "Hello," and then his hand comes out of the fucking talk thing instead of the tongue, and I'm just like, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy." And it's like, yeah, that's fucking, the hand just comes out. It's like, and it looked like a little fetus hand too.
Yeah, it's like the scene from the first Deadpool movie.
Oh God damn it, yes.
I bet it feels huge in this hand.
What if he'd come out with a "shake my strong hand"?
Oh, that'd have been fire.
Take my strong hand. Like, fuck. And then what felt like kind of a reach for this one was they were trying to figure out how are we going to kill him. And then conveniently, Ozzy was just like, "Oh yeah, well, old Grady used to tell me stories on the farm or whatever about this," but he couldn't remember the fact that this man probably told him how to kill this fucking leprechaun. Because he's like, "Well, old Grady found him. He probably knows how to fucking kill a leprechaun." Now, granted, he probably didn't talk to him after he found the leprechaun, obviously, but you got to think the O'Grady's were Irish. He probably had known folklore at least.
Yeah.
So he's like, O'Grady would know how to do it. And they're like, well, great. Well, where is O'Grady? And then Nathan's like, well, he's in a rest home out on the other side of town or whatever. And it's like, fuck. Here's another 20 minutes tacked onto this fucking movie. And not only do they just not all go together to do this, they send Tori on her own by herself in the Jeep. This is where they throw the shoes and shit on the ground. And I want to say before this happened, when they were trying to fucking leave another time, the little bastard went into the barn again and just fashioned an entire like attack go-kart with a pitchfork on the front of it and everything.
Yeah.
That was your favorite spot, I think. Or you were all about that shit.
Dude, that shit was fire. I was like, I want one.
Right? Like, my man's came out fucking bicycle horning that bitch, ring around the rosy, and you're like, oh, Jesus, he's really going there with it. And he fucking initial D'd right into the side of that fucking truck and sent that bitch a flipping. It's pretty goddamn great, honestly.
It was, man.
God. But yeah, they send Jennifer Aniston to the land of Dutch angles. Did you notice how many Dutch angles there were in this fucking nursing home scene?
After the third one, I was just like, all right.
Yeah, you lost count. I don't blame you. And like she goes in, she finds him or whatever, and then she's like, well, how do we kill him? And he's like, you can't kill it. I won't tell you. And then you figure out, oh, it's the fucking leprechaun. He got there first and killed his ass. And fucking speed motion chases her sorry ass through this fucking place on a wheelchair. And not only does he chase her through here on a wheelchair, he crashes it. When she gets into the fucking elevator, you just hear
like a vehicle crash.
Like, no, just it's the slapstick humor piece of it. And then, of course, like O'Grady's body just from the fucking top of the elevator, and then he, you know, gives the whole tropey dying speech. You gotta kill it like this. I knew it would come back for me. You know, you're just like, bro, fucking spit it out already. Jesus Christ.
They had to pad that runtime, man.
I know. And he finally tells her, like, oh, there's a 4-leaf clover in the patch by the water well. And you're like, yeah, all right, buddy. So she fucking goes back to the farm, and the little son of a bitch is in hot pursuit on the wheelchair on the fucking highway. How many vehicles does this fucking little bastard get onto the highway? He's taken a fucking Power Wheels. He has taken a fucking tricycle. He's taken a wheelchair. My man's took roller skates at one point on the Jeep.
Yes, he did.
Because he flew through a fucking fence Wile E. Coyote style. I'm talking like the fucking outline cutout through the fucking fence, dude.
They also sped up the footage on that scene as well.
Sure the fuck did. Like,
I think that one was the most, like, aggressive with it, too.
it would have been even funnier if he did attach like fireworks to the skates and made them rocket skates.
Oh, dude, that'd have been amazing.
Hello, I'm Leprechaun, and welcome to Jackass.
Dude, I'd watch the fuck out of that, by the way.
I would watch him in full Leprechaun garb doing a stunt in Jackass.
Dude, that sounds amazing. Are you fucking joking?
I would shit myself. Book it. So they're back on the farm, and they find the gold after Nathan gets bear trapped, which is funny as shit because he gets bear trapped, and the leprechaun has bitten the back of his calf muscles. He just like fucked his whole leg up. And then like before that, when they went into the house to find him, he was playing like fucking basically peekaboo in all the cabinets with him. They kept fucking like opening the door. You should have chose door number 2. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. And he just reaches out of the fucking drawer and grabs a handful of his dick.
And he didn't even like grab it aggressively. He just pinch.
He fucking bicycle horned that son.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the whole thing with the telephone and all that other shit we were talking about earlier when he goes back in the house. But they finally find the damn 4-leaf clover in the patch or whatever. And then Alex gets the final kill shot, I guess, if you will, of this movie. And I was thinking this, and I've always actually thought this, but you fucking said it out loud. The way he loads the fucking 4-leaf clover into his slingshot.
Yeah, he fucking folds it, pinches it, all this other shit. I'm like,
with the gum.
Yeah, what if it fucks up the clover?
Yeah, like what if he fucked up and ripped one of the leaves on the clover?
That's what I was about to ask, is like, is there a rule to this? Like, at the end of the day, did it grow as a 4-leaf clover so it still holds its power? Or like, does it have to stay intact? Or
I'm not sure, dude, but he bubble yummed that motherfucker right down his throat.
Yeah.
But then the goddamn fuck you Lucky Charms line is so fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Aiden fucking fell out on that one.
Dude, that was good.
The special effects, that's what I wanted to get at when he falls into the well after he gets that 4-leaf clover shot down his throat. He's like melting the fuck away. And there's a specific shot in there. Do you remember Ernest Scared Stupid?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so do you remember anytime the trolls would get fucking obliterated, they had like the weird like spirit looking little orb thing that would like float around them in circles? That same effect happened here, and if I'm not mistaken, some of the same special effects crew worked on this movie too.
This has nothing to do with anything. But do you remember that one Alvin and the Chipmunks movie? It was the animated one where they went to like fucking Aztec and all that other shit. Do you want to know why there are certain scenes in that movie where the animation just popped the fuck off?
Yeah, sure.
It's because a bunch of the Disney artists went on strike and went to work on this. Don't ask me why, but that just kind of reminded me of that.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. The Chipmunk Adventure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would recommend you look it up.
You're talking about the old 80s cartoon.
Yes.
Like not the CG, you're talking about the animated.
Yeah,
of course I've seen that one. It's where they go around the world in the blimps trying to collect all the fucking diamonds and shit. Yeah, I fucking love that movie. It's great. That makes a lot of fucking sense though.
Yeah, because like
shit.
You remember like some of the backgrounds and everything. Like it was gorgeous.
And this was in the jump start of the Disney Renaissance era. So that makes total fucking sense, dude. Awesome. Fucking great fucking little piece of trivia there.
Yeah. So you bringing up the same effects there just kind of jogged my memory of that.
Right. But yeah, the movie ends with him falling down this well, and then he comes back up all fucked up, and then he gets set on fire. The well blows up, and then the police fucking show up like 30 days later.
Yeah, for real. Fucking
Like,
goddamn.
Yeah, and it just ends with him like giving this rhyme about how he's going to come back once his magic's around. And then sure enough, I mean, this original version had 5 sequels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had 2, 3 in space, which we did in October, Leprechaun in the Hood, and then Leprechaun Back to the Hood, and then they had like a Leprechaun Origins reboot, and then they had another one called Leprechaun Returns that came out in 2018.
I was about to say, the reboot had a sequel as well.
No, the reboot was its own thing. The Leprechaun Returns one was a direct sequel to this movie.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, because Mark Holton that played Ozzy came back to be in that movie as well.
Oh, wow.
And weirdly enough, Lubdan is the name of the leprechaun, but I want to say it's the only time he's ever referred to by fucking name. He's just listed as the leprechaun and everything. So before we leave, there's some production notes on this movie that are kind of interesting. The movie was shot at the Valencia Studios where they filmed Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And you're going to laugh at this shit. So some of the violent shots were done at Big Sky Ranch, and that's where they filmed Little House on the Prairie and the Waltons. And then Warwick Davis, and Warwick Davis said that it, quote, felt a little blasphemous, end quote.
Yeah. Dude, I grew up on that shit. That was a great show.
It took 3 hours to apply his makeup and 40 minutes to remove it.
Actually, you know what? Not as bad as I thought it would be. This is going to sound fucked up, but whenever I think of like extensive makeup and everything, I think of like fucking Drax and Guardians or something like that. And then I'm like, well, that motherfucker's like 6'5", and Davis is like 2'11". So yeah, I guess it would trim down a lot.
Yep. Here's some fun shit about the release, okay?
Okay.
So the movie was released by Trimark. I know you remember that studio. These motherfuckers did like a really heavy marketing campaign, and they partnered with the fucking NBA and the American Stock Exchange. They did this because they could not secure deals with Domino's or Subway.
Oh my God. Man, fuck Domino's. Well, no, I say that because they're always on some fuck shit, man.
Right.
Between this and whenever AEW had the spot with...
Oh, yeah, the pizza cutter with fucking... Yeah, oh, God.
Dude, fuck Domino's. We on that Pizza Hut arc.
Right, exactly. I was even about to make a fucking Pizza Hut reference.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm glad we're on the same fucking slice with that one. Not the same page, the same slice.
I actually did order Domino's once, and I requested my pizza to be cut into a pentagram, and they didn't do it.
Man, fuck Domino's for that shit. Pizza Hut would have fucking come through for you.
Oh, God.
Y'all, shout out to the Lake Charles Little Caesars that doesn't cut their fucking pizzas. I know this because I've had pizza from them for the last couple weeks, and they don't cut a goddamn thing.
What the fuck? It's just a giant-ass pie?
Yeah.
The fuck?
The manager even fucking yelled at him, I swear to God, if y'all have to fucking... I swear she said this. She's like, I swear to God, if y'all let another pizza leave this thing uncut, I'm going to cut y'all ass. And I was like, oh, fuck. True story. I swear to God. I want to leave this with something a little fucking funny. So the reviews that happened with this movie, okay?
Oh, Lord.
There was a review where this guy from the New York Times said that it's, quote, the perfect high concept comedic slasher, and it's still Jennifer Aniston's best film to date.
I mean...
And the movie earned $8.6 million against a budget of barely $1 million, and obviously it's a cult classic, and the series has been pretty fucking successful, and it pretty much cemented the Leprechaun as, in my opinion, and I'm sure yours, a horror icon, like up there with like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Ghostface, all these guys, Chucky.
I would definitely put him in with Chucky as far as like the comedic horror icons, you know? Like, I almost feel like that deserves its own subgenre. Because it almost feels weird to say, yes, Leatherface, Michael, Leprechaun. Like, it's like, hold on, wait, pause. What do you mean? So, like, in my brain, it's like different things, you know?
So do we lump Leprechaun in with like seasonal horror people? Like, do we lump him in with people from Christmas horrors? Do we lump him in with like Easter horror? Do we lump him in with fucking...
I can see that, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can see
like,
that.
Instead of like Michael Myers, like Season of the Witch.
I can see that, yeah. I never thought about it, but yeah, I get it.
He's lore horror in a way, you know, so. Yeah, Leprechaun is absolutely a fun goddamn watch, everybody. Check the shit out. It's on Pluto TV for free. It's on fucking Peacock. I want to say it's also on Hulu, but you can find the entire Leprechaun franchise for free on Peacock with a subscription. I mean, it's technically not free, but you know what I'm saying.
I mean, it's free if you bum an account off somebody.
That's true. Get your friend's password and let it rip.
Oh, God. Why you think I'm here?
Come back next week where our Cult Cinema Showdown series makes its triumphant return with its 104th entry. What connects these two films, you might ask? Well, fucking ninjas and being from states. So, and both of these releases, while not being originally from Vinegar Syndrome, one of them is a Vinegar Syndrome original, and the other one is remastered by Vinegar Syndrome. We're going to take a look at New York Ninja versus Miami Connection. Jesus Christ. Miami Connection was one of the very first Cult Cinema Showdown entries in that particular series, but God, that was in episode 3 of the Cult Cinema Showdown. And it went up against Hard Ticket to Hawaii. But we're bringing it back because, quite frankly, it deserves a revisit, and New York Ninja deserves to be spoken of, too. So we'll give you the deets on all that shit whenever that episode comes around. But until then, visit supermediabrospodcast.com for past, present, and future episodes, including next week's. Check out all the other shows on the OddPods Media Network by visiting oddpodsmedia.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on social media, buy a t-shirt from our website. You know, you can scroll to the merch section and click it, and it'll take you to the merch store, and then you have all the merch you can fucking buy and all the shit you can put on your bodies. Leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, GoodPods, and Podchaser. And we hope you enjoyed this fucking hangover edition of Super Media Bros. I mean, St. Patrick's Day was probably a hell of a party for you, but it's time to crack another beer and get rid of that fucking headache. Or hell, just watch Leprechaun.
I got some Irish in me.
Man, I believe it. You got the fiery red hair.
Fuck off.
I'm being dead serious. You do.
I do.
This man is the real Leprechaun.
Honestly, I would take the role in a heartbeat.
Oh, fuck yeah, same. Let's go have some beers.
Bet. Got some Guinness in the fridge.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go crack that shit open. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us today. This has been episode 267, Leprechaun from 1993. Until next time, I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
Shades on.
We're off.